Hey everybody. Okay, so tonight is going to be me compiling a whole bunch of my other random videos. Tips and tricks on how to get an injection pump out, tips and tricks on how to get the harmonic balancer on, off, etc. and torqued, because a lot of guys have been asking, how do I torque a harmonic balancer? Well, if you put a little cheater chain from an accessory pulley bolt down to one of the pulley bolts on a balancer, guess what? It doesn't turn anymore. So there's little things that kind of get missed and they're not really translated to other people. Also, we bought a cute little toy. It's called a tool. It's a little OBD2 dongle, and I was able to plug into Casper today and check my actual desired and other timing, and wow, gosh, I think I burned my shirt, probably working on my truck. Anyways, that being said, since my bride is looking at me going, oh my god, it looks like you've done something wrong. I might have. No, my luck, I put it in the dryer too long. Anyways, so 6.5 compilation of a whole bunch of old videos that I had. One major one is going to be how to check your timing. OBD2, long day. 96 to 2000 trucks. I'm really sorry guys with your OBD1 trucks, 94, 95. I haven't really found a good software, so we'll get there. Baby steps. Also, going to show you guys some other troubleshooting things and kind of give you some other videos off the old Ginger Snap Facebook page, and that way you can look back and go, oh yeah, I remember that, because I had people recently ask, hey, how do I know if I'm not getting boost? Well, put a boost gauge in it. Where do I put it? So things like that. What to do in the event that you have a stripped upper intake bolt, put a heel coil in it. Just little things, tips and tricks. It's like an early Christmas present from me to you and your 6.5s. At the same time, I don't want to say it's a Christmas present because there's more to come. The turbo testing will commence hopefully after I get an injection pump in Casper. I've got a new short block and other pieces parts. So we're going in the right direction before the beginning of the new year, and we're going to have lots of fun. So that being said, we're going to roll into videos of past and present, and that way you guys can hopefully learn something from me, because why know all this stuff if I can't share it? Thanks guys. Okay, so Casper's having injection pump problems. You gotta check the timing stuff. Well, I got this new fancy fangled thing from the Amazon that is a new OBD2 dongle. So you'll get the app to your plugin, at diagnostics, at General Motors, say manual selection, 2001, or 2000 rather, light truck, GMC, GMCC, two-wheel drive, and you want a 6.5 turbo diesel. You'll say yes, under 15,000 GVW because it's not a 3500 HD. This is for OBD2 trucks, guys. So OBD1 trucks, you don't get this luxury, and so far I have not found an app that'll actually allow you to do the reading. So you gotta wait for it. Say control unit, click him, powertrain, top option, live daters. You say you want live engine data. It's gonna connect. Do 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 do. It's still thinking. When you're out in the middle of a hayfield, does it? All right. So here's our little layout. So you can scroll down, and you need, let's see, here's your actual and desired injection pump timing. So they're a little off, but that's pretty normal. But what we know that can tell us if our pump is junk is this number right here, injection pulse solenoid closure time. Like the highest you ever want to see is like 1.8, and I'm at 2.2 to 2.3 down to 2.17. So at this point in time, we now know that my closure time is off, which means the injection pump is injured, in fact, in this truck, which explains the horrible cold starts and other things that we're dealing with. So if you guys are having any doubt that your injection pump is a problem, dead pedal, hard starts, issues in the cold, look into one of these apps. I'll even have a link to the OBD2 dongle, and you can go from there. So hopefully this helps you guys with timing, because it truly helped me. So to change the injection pump in a 6.5 liter diesel, you have to do a couple of things. First,
take the oil fill tube completely off, because located behind the oil fill tube is the injection pump drive gear. There are 3 bolts, 1, 2, 3, that have to be removed. This gear will then float freely in the housing with about that much play of motion. After you've done that, yes, you will have to roll the engine over. Suggestion is leave the battery connected enough that you can pump it, take the top one out, bump it, take the second one out, bump it again, and take the final one out as it rolls to the top position, as you can see here. After that's taken care of, undo the injectors from the injection lines from the injectors here, all 8. Once that's taken care of, you'll need to remove the fuel feed line coming in at the top port of the injection pump, and also remove the return line. There's going to be a trunk harness down inside the valley, like so, and you'll need to unplug the stepper motor, the optical sensor, the PMD, and a few other pieces. This will then, and the fuel shutoff. You can roll this back, whatever you would like to do to get it up and out of your way. Once that's taken care of, you can either A, undo the injectors from the pump here in these locations, or you can disconnect, undo the 3 flange bolts here, 1, 2, 3, and then you can slide the pump back and lift it out as a unit with the lines on it if you so choose. Well, in the truck there is going to be a heater line here and here, and obviously the lower intake plenum has to be removed as well to get to said injection pump. So it's really not a multi-step process that takes a lot of time, as long as you are willing to put in the elbow grease. Step 1 would be upper intake, lower intake, remove. Once those are off, you go through oil fill tube, 1, 2, 3 bolts here. The next step would be flange bolts. The next step would be injectors, lines, electrical plugs, and then remove the pump. And that's really all it takes to remove the injection pump from a 6.5. Another video with my dead engine sitting out here in the yard. So the best way to actually torque a harmonic balancer is to apply a bolt either from the water pump or one of the accessory pulleys here, and bolt it right here. Use the chain to hold the balancer in place. Here's your 24mm nut, and then obviously torque as needed. It's right around 185 foot-pounds. So use the chain to stop the balancer from turning to get proper torque. Okay, so since I have a little bit of time this morning, I was going to try to do a couple of things on Casper. One would be the Feed the Beast mod fuel filter housing. Ignore my cheap Wix filter, but no one has AC Delco ones right now, like the one that is currently in the truck that has 7,000 miles on it. So time for a good change. New turbocharged boot, because this one has about 35,000 miles on it and it is ripped on the one side. New fuel line that we need, upper intake gasket, and we're going to start pulling this thing apart real quick. So if you have a quad star upper intake manifold, undo the boost center line from the top here. They go in the little ports in the back. Port 1, port 2. This is old, and it's definitely seen its life of crime and beating. Okay. Next, you want to go ahead and undo your sensor. My little wonderful fix for this, aka zip tie, since the tabs are broken off, they all do. Next, you'll take off your boost clamp, which in this truck, I can't remember what size it is. Probably 10mm. 10mm. So once these things are loose, you can then take your 13mm and knock all of these loose here for the upper intake plenum. Be careful doing so, because you may strip them. If you do, get a helicoil kit. They'll be actually stronger than factory. Okay, so let's talk about overboost a little bit here for 6.5s. Guys get the overboost code, it kicks on, kicks off, blah, blah, blah. Well, on the 94 through 99 2000 classic trucks, there's typically a vacuum pump that goes right here. As you can see on Casper, it has long since been deleted and it probably found its way into a box of razor blades in China. But things that you need to look at if you have an overboost code. Boost wastegate control solenoid. So there's usually two lines that come out of this. One goes across, under, down, over into the vacuum pump, and the other part of that line also runs across, over, and into the wastegate. Good place for it. Well, if you're getting an overboost code, or if you're just not making boost, one of the best things you need to do is get yourself a snazzy little boost gauge. Drill and tap. This is a quad star upper intake, typically on a factory one. You can just drill right in the center, tap, put your boost line, run it up through, and go through the firewall here. And that handy dandy little gauge can go in a pod right about there. You only need a 30-pound gauge typically on a stock turbo, because anywhere between 8 to 10 pounds of boost is what you need maximum due to the high drive pressure of a stock charger. The other thing is you also want to check a stock wastegate, which in some cases go up and down, some go forward and back. It all depends on what model you have. 94 through 96 have a wastegate that moves fore aft, and the late 96 through 2000 are up and down. So I know this is a terrible representation because it is a Quadstar Super 54 whole step swap, but you can build a manual wastegate. Obviously, this is not a stock turbo by any stretch of the imaginations, but you'll just run with a spring-loaded actuator. You can set that spring. You'll need about a 30 to a 35 pound basic spring for like a swing set or a spring door. Put that on, all thread, bolt it through, and then set your boost. That is going to get you some kind of boost. Now, if you're still getting codes, you'll want to check the sensor on the top of the intake here and make sure that it's properly fastened. Yes, mine, the tabs broke off, that's why they're zip tied. And also check on the sensor right here and make sure that one is functioning. Scan your trucks and get the codes. We cannot read mines, and I surely can't tell you what a check engine light code is when I don't even know what it's actually doing. So scan your codes. If you're throwing an overboost or a wastegate control solenoid fault, start with the control solenoid and get a boost gauge in it. After that, you can go from there and start plugging away and finding the issues. If it continues to defuel and have more overboost problems, check your fuel pressure. If you don't have enough fuel pressure at the filter head right there, then you're also going to have issues with timing, which causes low boost, which causes lack of power. So everything ties in these. Fuel pressure and boost are one hand in hand. So be aware, check one, check the other, and then go from there. Have a good weekend, guys.